Good morning everyone, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning, and a happy birthday to Disney's Cinderella. The animated classic was released on this day in 1950. I hope the princess has a good knees up to celebrate, as long as she's home by midnight.
Alexa, what's the time please?
The time is 11:48 a.m.
Right guys, about half an hour ago I decided to jump into the shower and have a shower because I was feeling tired, run down. I have a pain in my belly, so basically I decided to try and have a refreshing shower, and I actually have been able to have a shower in peace, which is brilliant. By the way, if you like my videos, please smash that like button and please do subscribe. So you can see my hair is wet. I've partially dried it with my hairdryer and I'm going to finish drying it later on because I've got to take Max out for a walk this afternoon. I'm by myself in my flat as I usually am. So I just want to talk about a couple of things. I'm going to talk to you about being homeless. I was homeless for 2.5 years. That's what I'm going to do in another video. Tell you how it felt for me personally to be homeless and what I experienced and the hatred and that shit that I had to put up with through no fault of my own. I was completely innocent. I'd done nothing wrong and I was subjected to the most absolute torture imaginable in my own country, being persecuted for something I didn't do. I suffered a marriage of domestic violence, and there's no shadow of a doubt about that. Nobody can deny that fact. And when I left my marriage, I was told by a lady called Sue Portlock, one of my domestic violence support workers, to write a diary about what my perpetrators were doing to me so that I could note it down and report things to the police and use it as evidence. This diary became a release for me. I began to not just jot dates and times of what abuse was happening. I began to note down number plates, how my workers were treating me and my baby boy, because I was put into a women's refuge. First of all, I was pregnant, and then this poor child grew up in homelessness, charity accommodation with me, his mother. It was a horrible, horrific time trying to hold on to my child with everyone siding with my perpetrator and going against myself. I found myself in a position where I couldn't get dentists, I couldn't get a doctor, I was frightened I was going to lose my child, I was struggling, I needed help and support, and I received racism and bullying. Now, I've got proof of racism going way back to 2019, which is nearly 5 years ago. I've got diaries from 2009 where I was subjected to human torture, just going up to contact sessions to try and keep in touch with my 4th child. I've got proof of all the abuse, right? Several times people have tried to destroy my diaries. My paperwork has been thrown in the dustbin, and even my personal photographs with my children and myself have been thrown into the bin and destroyed. They're trying to destroy the evidence, you see, making out that I've got no kids at all, I'm just somebody by myself. That's not true. I have had 4 children, I have had a few partners, I haven't always been on my own, right? Now I'm going to read a piece of my diary from the 2nd of February 2019, and I want to prove to you that I have been receiving racist bullying, and it's been noted down in diaries, right? 2nd of February 2019. At this time I was living at Lansdowne Court in Chatham. I walked up to my parents at Durrell Gardens in heavy rain. Hat over my ears. I suffer from trigeminal neuralgia, so cold sets it off. Loud noises and talking even. I wore a green hooded coat, brown boots, black PVC type trousers and a black jumper. It was freezing cold as the rain hit my face. So I got to the Luton Road Junior School, back end, top of Alexandra Road, and two men were soldering a fence at the school, and a bright light shone in my left eye, and the smell of solder went up my nose. I carried on up to Durrell Gardens, and my mother Jennifer was hovering outside looking for me. It was nearing 11:30 a.m. We both went inside my mum and dad's flat, and Derek, my father, was sat down near the French windows. His silver Mercedes parked opposite his flat. He was on his laptop and he was in a very good mood for a change. I, however, was upset about having no money in my bank. I did bid on a property using my father's computer and using my email address. It was near where my father Derek worked as a stock clerk at Brompton Barracks. On the first floor, this flat, lots of stairs, but pets were allowed. Mum said I looked like Veronica, her next door neighbour. Veronica is a black woman. So my mother basically told me I looked like a black woman. My mother did. I had lunch round theirs, 3 small pizzas and fries with mayonnaise sauce, crackers covered in butter, a cup of tea with brown sugar cubes, and an Activia yoghurt. Later on, half of a Cornish pasty with more fries and tomato sauce, and a strong cup of Al Zero latte coffee. At that time I felt very, very sleepy. I came over all sleepy, like I was going to fall asleep. We watched a film with Arnold Schwarzenegger in, and I saw his bare bottom in a shower scene. My dad had chosen this film to watch. 2 planes colliding into each other and the wreckage afterwards. Aftermath, it was called, on Amazon Prime. My father Derek chose it. Then a YouTube video of Jordan the lion, and then I waited for the taxi to arrive about 5:40 p.m. Mum gave me a Christmas empty bag. I was in debit with my bank account, and my mum gave me a Christmas empty bag. She gave me a Sainsbury's toasty loaf of bread, a bag of Cadbury's eclairs, which I can't eat because I have no back teeth and I can't chew, chewing gum and a few cans of drink. £10 for the taxi. It was snowing heavily and it was freezing. No heating was on. So they hadn't put the heating on when I went round, and I was stone cold. Derek had 3 gollywogs on his computer screen, dressed in Christmas clothing. Derek said, "See you next Sunday," not this one, and I left. There was a Sikh, very ancient old taxi driver, and it got caught up in traffic by McColl's in Luton Road. I remained in the taxi as men were hovering about outside. A Royal Mail van drove in front of us, and behind that another white taxi with UGG as the number plate. UG, UGG. I began to feel very miserable and depressed. I had a £2 change out of the taxi fare, climbed up the stairs, got into the flat, and I looked at my emails. Dave Bruin and Andrew Frankton. "Hairy lips, come sit on my dick," one of the emails read, "Hairy lips." Andrew Frankton's email said, Dave's email said, "Hello, I'm looking at coming your way last week in February. I'm on leave from work that week. Would that suit you?" I immediately began to feel ill and I had to go to bed. This guy I'm not going to meet because A, I don't feel safe, B, I think someone is trying to harm me, and C, I don't know exactly where this Dave Brewin is. This morning I woke up really early, 6:30 a.m, severe pain in my head, nausea and general fatigue. I fed my cats, Snowball is now dead, began cleaning the bathroom, put Henry VIII on DVD, and I just potted around in my flat feeling ill. Before my father put the Arnold Schwarzenegger film on, he put a film on, and it was a program on fat people trying to lose weight. One of the blokes' names was Carl, which is the name of one of my ex-boyfriends, and he was over 50 stone, had a pair of what looked like extremely flabby breasts with large nipples, and you couldn't see his stomach. He died a few months after the program was made. Another male was wearing a beanie hat. They couldn't breathe, these men, because they were so big. I've just had some McCain oven chips with mint sauce on. I just made a latte in the kitchen to the rear of my flat, and a bald man let a black dog out in his back garden, and remember that my mother had called me a black woman, and my dad had had 3 black gollywogs on his computer screen. And I feel bloody awful. At 4:10, my neighbour downstairs, at that time was called June, returns home in a white taxi like I had just done earlier on. I'm still indoors. She clanks her trolley loudly up the stairs. She was wearing a white hat and a beige coat. June is 20 years older than me, an old age pensioner. And I just go on to note down the vans and the cars, but that is what my life was like since I left my ex-husband. I feel like I'm still being controlled because I spoke up and told the truth. I feel that my 4th child was taken off me and used as a weapon against me. And I live on my own, not through choice, because I've had everything taken off me. And I'm the innocent party, and I can prove it. But these people don't want to hear the truth. They don't want it to come out, so I've got to suffer in silence. I've got to live a solitary life while they get away with what they've done to me, and are still doing. And they are being racist. There's proof. See you later.